Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wayne bringing you yet another YouTube video at this time. So basically what I'm going to be talking with you guys today is about shiranuis. Now I've come up with a couple of ideas for, some support cards for the R-Type. Because as you guys already know, they've come out in the Breakers of Shadows, of course, rares, commons, and ultra rares. And basically what we are fearing is that this support that they've gotten is going to be the only thing they get. So what I've done is come up with some ideas for monsters, extra deck monsters, and spells and traps that could definitely give the deck a real strong boost and help it stand out in the meta game. So yeah, so let's basically get straight into it. First card I came up with is a Berserker of Shiranui. Now this is a level 4 zombie monster, 2000 attack, 0 defense. His effect reads, you can only activate the one effect of Berserker of Shiranui once per turn. The first effect reads, when this card is summoned, you can have this card gain 1000 attack but destroy it during the end phase. Second effect reads, if this card is banished, you can select one Shiranui monster you control. It gains 1000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Next card, Swordbreaker of Shiranui. This is also a level 4 zombie, but it's a tuner with 1900 attack, 0 defense. His effect reads, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. If this card inflicts battle damage, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is banished, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate this effect once per turn. Next card is Beginner Swordsman of Shiranui. This is a level 2 zombie with 800 attack, 0 defense. Once per turn, you can special summon this card from your hand, but banish it when it leaves the field. If this card is banished, activate one of the following effects. Return one zombie type monster from your banished zone to the graveyard, or banish one zombie type monster from either player's graveyard. Now that is it for the main deck monsters. Now we're going to start with the extra deck monsters. First we have Destroyer of Shiranui, which is a rank 4 zombie XYZ monster with 2400 attack, 0 defense, requiring 2 level 4 zombie type monsters. His effect reads, you can detach one material from this card, add one Shiranui card from your deck to your hand. If this card leaves the field, you can destroy a number of cards on the field up to the number of XYZ materials on this card. Next we have a Strategist of the Shiranui, which is a level 6 zombie type synchro with 2600 attack, 0 defense. His effect reads, he requires one zombie tuner and one or more non-tuner zombie type monsters. Alright, his effect reads, once per turn during either player's turn, you can activate one of the following effects by sending one zombie type monster from your hand, field, or deck to the grave. One, special summon one zombie type monster with 0 defense from your grave. Second effect, select up to 2 zombie type monsters in your banner zone and return them to the grave. Next we have Swordmaster of Shiranui, which is a level 8 synchro with 2800 attack, 0 defense. It requires a Shiranui tuner and one or more non-tuner Shiranui monsters. His effect reads, when this card is special summoned, you can shuffle up to one card each from your opponent's hand, field, or graveyard back into the deck. Once per turn, you can shuffle up to 2 zombie type monsters back into the deck and draw one card. Last effect reads, if this card were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish one zombie type monster instead. Now we're going to the support, the spell and traps. Quick play spell, Shiranui style, flame formation. Once per turn, you can special summon one Shiranui monster from either your graveyard or your banner zone, but it is returned to the deck during the end phase and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the returned monster. Last but not least, Shiranui style Swordmaster Slash. This is a counter trap card. When your opponent activates a spell, trap, or monster effect, tribute one zombie type monster, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it, and then you can destroy one card on a field. So yeah guys, what I'm going to do now is go over each of the cards and explain how they sort of synergize with the rest of the deck. So now let's dig deeper into Berserker of Shiranui. Let's read over its first effect. When this card is summoned, you can have this card gain 1,000 attack, but destroy it during the end phase. So yeah, when this card is summoned, that includes special, summoned, whatever, however way summoned, normal, whatever, you're gonna have it gain 1,000 attack if you want to. Meaning you have a choice as to whether or not you want it to gain the attack or not. So, good. And if you do, destroy it during the end phase, which is good. So it'll set up for, whether or not you want to banish or you want to re-special summon it back to the field and gain this 1,000 attack again, so on and so forth. And if this card is banished, you can select one Shiranui monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. So picture this scenario. This engrave, you summon Bushi, activate Bushi's effect during damage step when you're attacking something, banish this, it gains 1,000 attack. Bushi's effect activates also, gaining 600 attack, so it's gaining plus 1,600 attack during the damage step that you activate this card. So you're guaranteed to get over anything just about that you're attacking at this time and banishing whatever it is that you're attacking. So definitely a good thing. That goes for any Shiranui monster can gain that attack. Also, if you activate Shogun Saga's effect when he special summoned to the field, you can activate, banish this. Shogun will gain the 2,000 attack based off his Berserker's base attack, and then Berserker's effect will activate, giving Shogun an actual 1,000 attack. So that'll bring him up to a grand total of 6,000 attack upon hit summoning to the field and activating his effect. So you're guaranteed to hit something, unless you run into back row or any of that stupid bull crap. You're guaranteed to OTK with this card even more than usual. But yeah, that's how he synergizes. He definitely works well with the deck. Definitely a good fit for the deck, period. Alright, so let's go over Swordbreaker of Shiranui. Defense position. Inflict piercing damage. Of course, name is Swordbreaker. Of course, it's going to have a piercing effect. It only makes sense. And when a card inflicts battle damage, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. So piercing is guaranteed to do some sort of damage, unless obviously if the monster has higher defense than his attack, then obviously you won't get that effect off. But when you do get the effect off, getting that dumped to the graveyard is always good, because you need Shiranuis in the graveyard, or if you happen to be running the Mizukis in the graveyard, running the Mizukis in this as well, get the Mizukis to the grave, banish, special summon, so on and so forth. So yeah, so now if this card is banished, you can send one zombie type monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can only activate this effect once per turn. So I'll put a once per turn clause on this because it can definitely be an abused effect. Mizuki's effect is already an abused effect, so try to keep it somewhat fair and playable. You don't want it to be too overpowered, but it's still actually a really good card regardless. So yeah, that's that. Now, Beginner Swordsman of Shiranui. Once per turn, you can special summon this card from your hand or banish it when it leaves the field. So you can special summon this, normal summon a tuner, sync her up until level 6, strategist. Beginner Swordsman's effect will activate to either banish something or return something back to the grave. So that's a good way to get it off the field, get it, get the speed to go into the effect so that you're able to, generate advantage from whichever effect you use of Beginner Swordsman's to, generate the effects. You can use the banish effect to banish any of the Shiranuis to get their desired effects. Or if you already have stuff that's banished, you can put it back into the grave so that you can reuse their effects again. So, really good card indeed. Alright. Oh, either player's graveyard you can banish from if you choose to activate to banish from the graveyard, so you can banish from either player's graveyard. So this combos well if you have zombie world on the field, so that you can banish your opponent's monsters as well. So really good card indeed. All right, so let's go over the destroyer of Shiranui, which is the zombie type XZ with 2400 attack. The once per turn you can detach one material, add one Shiranui card from your deck to your hand. Basically very good searching material, very quick. A lot better than Shiranui Smith, because you know Smith you have to use it as synchro material in order to get the search. You just make a simple rank 4 and go ahead and detach and get your search off. But it is its last effect that is the bread and butter of the deck. You can, if this card leaves the field, you can destroy a number of cards on the field up to the number of materials on this card. Now picture this scenario. Shiranui style Swallow Sword. Activate. Tribute this. Pop 2 cards on the field. Then banish your Chief Priest on the field. Chief Priest. Change Chief Priest and this. Chief Priest will activate first, popping a face-up card. Then this effect will activate, popping 2 more cards on the field. So that'll give you a grand total of 5 cards you're hitting off of 2 cards on the field. And plus you're getting your materials in the graveyard so that you can use those for further effects as well. So are you losing any advantage? Not really. Not really at all. An opponent is minusing hard off this effect. And it's a leave the field effect. So if you know they use the Castell to try to get rid of this, this will go back to the extra deck. The effect will activate in the extra deck and it will pop 2 cards on the field. If Castell is the only card, this says up to 2 cards. You know, the materials obviously because you're going to have 2 materials on it, so it will pop up to 2 cards. So you can pop the Castell that sent your monster back. So ha, Castell, you get to send to the graveyard. So yeah, this card is really amazing. And also you can combo this with the counter trap as well. So you can activate the counter trap, negate something, destroy it, pop another card. This activates, giving you 2 more cards, so that'll be a total of 4 cards that you destroy. You negated 1 card, destroy it. The trap card effect gives you an additional card to destroy, and then this effect will activate, giving you 2 more cards to destroy. So that's 4. Really good. So now, strategist of the Shiranui. Once per turn during either player's turn, you can activate one of the following effects by sending 1 zombie-type monster from your hand, field, or deck to the graveyard. Special summon 1 zombie-type monster with 0 defense from your grave. Select up to 2 zombie-type monsters in your banner zone and return them to the grave. So basically what I did was took Shiranui style reincarnation formation, aka synthesis, and put it on a monster. It made it a whole lot more better because this effect is a quick effect during either player's turn, 1. 2, it sends a zombie from your hand, field, or deck to the graveyard. So it doesn't matter where your zombies are, you can send them to the graveyard to activate one of these effects. And the last effect, you can target up to 2 zombie type monsters in your banner zone and return them to the grave. Reincarnation has to be with 0 defense. This says zombie types, period. Doesn't matter what the defense are. So we don't have to worry about complaining about, oh, we can't bring back Mizuki because it doesn't have 0 defense. This says it doesn't matter. It's going back to the grave regardless. Alright, so this card is really good. Alright, so Swordmaster of Shiranui is the level 8 synchro with 2800 attack. 0 defense, requiring a Shiranui tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Shiranui monsters. Now I made this one specifically for Shiranuis because this is the boss monster of the Shiranui, so I had to make it specific for Shiranuis. So yeah, so now effect reads, when this card is special summoned, you can shuffle up to 1 card of your opponent's hand, field, or graveyard back into the deck. So it's non-targeting removal. We can get rid of those Cosmos ships. Those are the most annoying things to get rid of. So we have Ignister, of course, but I think this is much better than Ignister. 50 less attack, of course, but doesn't really matter. It'll shuffle Ignister back to the deck anyway, so really good effect on that one. Once per turn, you can shuffle up to 2 zombie type monsters back into the deck and draw 1 card. So I basically gave it a Samurai Saga effect, much better, up to 2. And it doesn't matter what the opponent has on their field, you can just shuffle and draw 1 card. So it makes the deck basically 2.0 actually. And if this card were to be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 zombie type monster instead. So we have with the monsters that I've added, you have more monsters to banish to get various effects to go off. So you banish the Berserker, it gains an extra 1,000. You banish the Swordbreaker, you get a dump. You banish the Beginner Sword, you can either banish something again or bring something back to the grave. Chief Priest, obviously you're popping something. Smith, you're protecting by battle. Bushi, you're adding something from the grave back to hand. Actually, I think that Chief Smith and Bushi's effects are actually better with this support because you have more things to search and more things to add back to hand. So definitely good. All I needed was some more support to actually make the cards even better. So yeah, that basically breaks down the last effect. This is a really good card. So now the Flame Formation. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 Shiranui monster from either your graveyard or banish zone, but return it to the deck during the end phase and inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack of the return monster. So yeah, I picked specifically Shiranui monster because it's, it's a Shiranui style card, so I wanted to be specific for Shiranuis in that regard. And plus you have so much more support now, you can actually have it specifically for Shiranuis and it not hurt the deck too much. So really good. And it's special summons from the graveyard or banish. So it doesn't matter where your Shiranuis are, it could be your monsters or even your extra deck monsters, you can summon them. And when they go back to the deck during the end phase, you can go back to the extra deck, which gives you the card to summon it back again when you have the, the means to summon it back again. And at the end, it gives it a bit of burn damage, so you can special summon the 28, the 24, the 26, and do whatever it is you're going to do with it. It goes back to the deck, and you can burn them for that much damage. So, really good card. And Samurai Shiranui style Swordmaster Slash, the counter trap, negates spell, trap, and monster effects, attributing a zombie type monster, and then you can destroy 1 card on the field. So yes, that's definitely a good card if you wanna push. Obviously you can tribute a Goblin Zombie if you still ran it, negate something, destroy something again, and then get a search off for it. Really good. Or if at the aforementioned destroyer, you can tribute that, negate, pop, and then pop 2 more. So yeah, what do you guys think of the new support that I think of? You think it's good? You think it's bad? Is there anything else you guys want to add? Any suggestions or anything? I am pretty open-minded about these things. You guys can hit me up in the comments and I'll be happy to answer. We can talk about it. Alright, so yeah. It actually took me a little bit to, sort of come up with this. It took me a couple of days because I was watching one of Busted McBusted videos, and he was talking about having some support. So it basically got my juices to flowing and started to think of stuff to come up with, and I ended up coming up with all of this. I think it took me exactly 2 days to come up with all of this. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you guys think. Alright, so I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime, but until then, peace, YouTube.